Chapter 1. The Wrong Hero. The last thing I remembered from Earth was sitting at my kitchen table with my face buried in my arms. Beside me were photographs of my parents and Amber, my late cat. Everyone who had once made that flat feel like home was gone. That morning, my promotion dish had left my station exactly as I intended. By the time it reached the judges, someone had tampered with it. The head chef called the result proof that I was not ready, and the promotion went to a colleague who had spent months treating me like a threat. I wanted to resign. Then I looked at the stack of bills on the table. Anger did not pay rent. Gold light spread across the floor beneath my chair. A breath later, I stood inside a glowing circle while an entire royal court stared at me. Most of them had human faces and bodies, but animal ears rose through their hair. A lion-tailed man sat on the throne. Beside him, a broad-shouldered man with rounded ears examined me with the quiet disappointment of a customer receiving the wrong order. A robed mage stepped forward. Say status, while thinking of yourself. Will that explain where I am? It will explain what you are. That was not a reassuring distinction. Status. Pale words appeared in the air. Name, Leena Han. Class, Otherworld Chef. Unique skills, Feastcraft, Ingredient Appraisal. Combat aptitude, minimal. The court fell silent. I recognized that silence. It was the sound powerful men made before explaining why my work did not count. Minister Merrick studied my status as if prolonged inspection might reveal a hidden sword. King Aldrich leaned forward. You summoned us a cook. The ritual was intended to summon a combat hero, Your Majesty. I did not apply to be either, I said. Neither man appeared to find that relevant. The minister looked at me. No, you did not. His name was Merrick, the royal summoning minister. He explained that I was in Elarun, within the Beastkin kingdom of Varnhold, and that the court had summoned me because it expected a major threat. Then he placed a document on the table and signed it. This releases you from royal service and confirms your status as a civilian. You will receive compensation for the displacement. And going home? The summoning circle can return you once it is recharged and is available. That process requires 4 months. However, the Crown has reserved the next full charge to summon another hero. Your return will follow when the circle has recharged again and is free. He said it as if postponing my life were a scheduling inconvenience. A heavy purse was placed in my hands. I folded the signed discharge into an inner pocket, then tucked a small emergency portion of the money somewhere separate. Years in restaurant kitchens had taught me 2 things. Never trust a single thermometer, and never keep all of anything in one place. By late afternoon, the purse was gone. The city beyond the palace gates was crowded with carts, voices, unfamiliar coins, and the smells of hot bread and fat dripping onto charcoal. I felt one shoulder strike mine in the press of bodies. When I reached for the purse, I found only the cut cord. The nearest watch desk recorded the theft but could not promise recovery. The palace clerk checked a ledger and informed me that royal compensation could not be issued twice. I could return to the palace and ask Merrick for shelter, but that would place my future in the hands of the man who had dismissed me as a failed summoning. The thought sat in my stomach like cold grease. Instead, I asked where people went when they needed work. That was how I found the Adventurers Guild. The woman behind the main counter had red panda ears, a striped tail, and the alert expression of someone who had already noticed I did not understand the notices, the currency board, or the line forming behind me. I'm Nessa, she said. Guild clerk and quartermaster. You look lost. I'm looking for work, cheap shelter, and an explanation of almost everything. Her ears lifted. That is a large order. I'm a chef. Large orders are familiar. Nessa explained local prices, basic registration, and which suppliers would deal with someone carrying more determination than money. When I asked whether I was the only human in this world, she told me most humans came from the kingdom of Solmir. You could try traveling there, she said, but travel costs money. Then show me what I can afford here. What I could afford was a neglected building near the guild. Nessa pushed open the swollen front door. Damp wood, old grease, and cold ash breathed out of the darkness. The ground floor held a crooked counter, damaged shelves, and a stove that looked as tired as I felt. A narrow staircase led to one small room above. It was barely habitable. It was also a kitchen-shaped space with somewhere to sleep. My remaining coins were enough to secure the place and buy only the barest supplies, a plain kitchen knife, 1 dented pot, and a handful of cheap ingredients. Nessa watched me inspect the cracked floor and rusted stove. Still interested? The palace had looked at a chef and seen a failed hero. This building looked like a failed café. I understood that kind of mistake. If this world only values fighters, I said. I'll begin with the stove.
This is an original story from Keiko Novel.
Chapter 2. The First Bowl. The first useful thing I found in Varnhold was a piece of meat everyone else considered poisonous. Nessa took me through the guild processing yard on my second morning. Freshly hunted monsters arrived on heavy carts, where workers separated valuable materials from the parts no merchant wanted. If you can use anything from this table, it is free, Nessa said. Free suited my budget. The emberhorn shoulder was dark red, streaked with silver fat, and still warm beneath my fingers. It smelled faintly of iron and wood smoke. Before I could examine it, a strong hand closed around my wrist. Do not cut that. The woman beside me was tall and muscular, with a great sword across her back. Long, dark silver hair framed her mostly human face, while silver-grey wolf ears stood alert above it. A thick tail swept once behind her. There were moments when my weakness for fluffy ears became a professional inconvenience. I need my hand to cook, I said. You will not be cooking that. Nessa returned from speaking with the yard clerk and sighed. Leena, this is Valka. She is one of our best fighters and occasionally willing to use words. Valka, this is the chef I mentioned. You did not mention she intended to poison herself, Valka said. I don't. Both women looked at me. I don't intend to poison myself. Valka released me but remained close enough to intervene again. I focused on the shoulder. A cool pressure formed behind my eyes as ingredient appraisal arranged unfamiliar knowledge into clear meaning. Emberhorn shoulder. Edible after removal of the volatile ember gland. Gland rupture causes toxic mana contamination. Tough muscle fibers. Retains endurance-aligned mana. The skill told me what could kill someone. It did not tell me how to make dinner. That part still belonged to me. I pressed along the muscle until I found a narrow oval of concentrated heat. The gland is here. Valka's amber eyes sharpened. You can sense it? I can identify it. Removing it without bursting it is my problem. My knife felt reassuring in my hand. After the palace, the robbery, and a night listening to wind creep through the café walls, it was a relief to face a problem I understood. I worked slowly around the membrane. When the swollen gland finally came free, I placed it in the disposal basin without spilling a drop. Some tension left Valka's shoulders. You truly are a chef. I was one yesterday too. Her ears shifted back. That was poorly phrased. It was not quite an apology, but it was close. Back at the café, I cleared one safe section of counter and coaxed the damaged stove to life. Valka followed because someone, apparently, needed to ensure the emberhorn remained harmless. The shoulder resisted my knife with dense fibers. I cut it evenly and lowered the first batch into the hot pot. A sharp hiss filled the kitchen. Brown crust formed, and the raw mineral scent softened beneath the richer smell of melting fat. I added the few aromatics I could afford, loosened the browned layer, then covered everything with water and seasoning. The stove burned too hot, then too low. Smoke escaped through the crooked vent. Valka opened the nearest window without comment while I adjusted the fire. Hours later, the broth had turned dark and glossy. The meat yielded beneath my spoon, and steam filled the neglected kitchen with roasted warmth. For the first time since arriving, the building did not smell abandoned. I tasted the broth. Salt came first, followed by savory richness and a gentle peppery heat. The tough shoulder separated at the pressure of my spoon. Food before magic, always. As I stirred, I thought about warmth after a long day and the comfort of eating something prepared with care. Something warm answered inside me. Golden light flowed down my arm and slipped into the stew. Feastcraft activation successful. Ire endurance. Duration, up to 48 hours. One Feastcraft buff may be active at a time. Another Feastcraft dish will replace it. Valka stepped closer. Did you intend that? No. You look pleased. I accidentally improved dinner. I'm choosing optimism. I filled a bowl and placed it before her. You watched me make it safe, I reminded her. I also watched it glow. Nessa said you were one of Varnhold's best fighters. Surely you can survive lunch. Then she tasted it. Her ears lifted. The emberhorn fell apart between her teeth, carrying the broth's richness with it. The peppery warmth lingered without overwhelming the meat. Valka took a second spoonful, slower than the first. This came from the discard table, she said. Yes, we have been throwing it away for years. I'm beginning to see a pattern. At my request, Valka checked her status. Iron endurance had taken effect. It reduced fatigue without increasing her strength and would last for up to 48 hours. Valka left on a guild contract the next morning. When she returned that evening, dust marked her clothes, but exhaustion did not drag at her steps. She came directly to the café. I should be tired, she said. I am not. The palace had looked at my class and seen no weapon. Valka looked at the empty bowl, the battered stove, and then at me. The palace dismissed the wrong hero. Chapter 3. Amber and Oak. My café acquired its first decent chair because an adventurer decided my stew deserved better furniture. He carried it in 3 days after Valka tested the ember horn. Had this in storage, he said. One leg is shorter than the others, but it won't collapse. In its current state, that made it the finest piece of furniture I owned. I fed him lunch. The next gift was a stack of roof tiles. Then came 2 intact window panes, a box of mismatched spoons, and several guild members asking when I planned to open properly. According to Nessa, the answer depended on whether my building survived the week. She led me to a guild table occupied by a badger woman examining a cracked chair and an enormous bear man eating what appeared to be an entire loaf of bread. Leena, this is Tavi, the carpenter I warned you about. Tavi, this is Leena, the chef Valka has been frightening everyone about. I did not frighten anyone, Valka said from the next table. Nessa ignored her. And this is Bram. If something requires metal, fire, or lifting 3 ordinary people at once, ask him. Bram considered me over the loaf. Can you make cake? Can you make a stove that does not fill my kitchen with smoke? Yes. Then I can make cake. Tavi placed one hand on the broken chair. What is wrong with your building? It would be quicker to list what isn't. That earned the first hint of approval in her expression. Tavi came to inspect the café the following morning. She found me halfway up the staircase with a hammer between my teeth and one foot resting on a step that had begun making confessional noises. Get down. I'm testing it. It failed. The wood cracked beneath my boot. Tavi caught the ladder while I scrambled back to safety. Then she took the hammer from my hand with the weary authority of someone confiscating a knife from a child. I showed her the loose floorboards, roof leaks, warped counter, and every unsafe stair I had marked the night before. You noticed all this? She asked. I organize professional kitchens. People carrying boiling pots need floors that don't move. Tavi looked over my notes again. You pay for materials and work when I tell you it is safe. I'll repair the structure. I cannot afford your labor. I didn't ask if you could. The first thing Tavi fixed was the staircase. Bram visited that afternoon. He listened while I explained why mana-rich ingredients required steadier heat and somewhere for excess magical pressure to escape. I need a reinforced cauldron with controlled mana vents, I said, and an adjustable monster core stove that can hold a low flame without suddenly becoming a bonfire. Bram studied my sketches while I cut one of the small cakes I had made for him. The cake had crisp golden edges and a soft center fragrant with butter. His stern expression remained unchanged through the first bite, but his rounded ears lifted. He ate the second bite more slowly. You made this on that stove? Yes. Bram looked offended on my behalf. I will build you a better one. The help did not arrive all at once. One adventurer repaired a window after breakfast. Another spent an afternoon fitting the donated roof tiles beside Tavi. A hunting party carried in a salvaged table and a narrow bed frame, then stayed to sand them when they saw me working on the counter alone. Nessa kept track of materials, found the least ruinous suppliers, and stopped 3 enthusiastic fighters from repairing the same wall. I worked beside them, paid for what I could, and fed everyone. The café's ordinary meals produced no golden light and granted no buffs. They offered roasted meat with crisp edges, warm bread, and bowls of broth that steamed against rain-cooled hands. That seemed to be enough. By the end of the first month, Tavi had made the stairs and floor safe, fitted new shelves, and repaired the upstairs furniture. Bram had installed the mana-vented cauldron and monster core stove. The counter stood level, the roof no longer leaked, and mismatched chairs filled the room. Bram also left a tiny, animal-shaped cake mold beside my new stove. The mold is a practical prototype, he said. Of course. I began serving ordinary food each day. Feastcraft meals required advance orders, magical ingredients, and deliberate concentration. Activating even a small batch left my hands trembling. I checked every customer's existing buff before serving one, because a new Feastcraft meal would replace it. Valka no longer needed iron endurance, but she kept returning. She always chose the chair nearest the kitchen and ordered an ordinary bowl of stew. I began saving the portion with the most deeply browned pieces for her. One evening, she stayed after everyone else had left. I caught myself watching firelight soften the silver-grey fur of her tail. Valka watched me for several seconds. You are not afraid of Beastkin. Should I be? Her amber eyes narrowed. Most humans are. Do Beastkin eat humans? No. Then no. Valka's ears tilted forward. That is your only concern. My gaze almost drifted toward her tail again. At present, your heart disagrees. That isn't fear. What is it? I looked at her ears. Valka followed my gaze and slowly understood. Do not. I wasn't going to. You were thinking about it. Thinking is still legal where I come from. Her tail struck the chair once. I decided to interpret that as a victory. The sign went up the following morning. Tavi steadied the ladder while two adventurers raised the carved wood above the door. Amber and oak. Amber, Valka said, studying the new sign. For my eyes? For my cat. Her ears lowered slightly. I named her 12 years before meeting you. Tavi made a choking sound. Nessa turned away too late to hide her grin. Amber was family, I explained more gently. Oak is what I want this place to become. Something strong enough to last. Valka looked through the open door at the repaired counter, Bram's stove, and the mismatched furniture carried in by people who had been strangers weeks earlier. It is beginning to. The warmth in my chest had nothing to do with feastcraft. That afternoon, an adventurer brought me a shriveled ember cap from a northern ravine. He claimed it had radiated heat when harvested, but now it was cold, bitter, and useless. Ingredient appraisal found only the ghost of heat mana inside it. The property had degraded during transport. My skill could tell me what had been lost, but not how to preserve it. I would need to examine an ember cap while it was still rooted, or immediately after harvest. For the first time since opening my kitchen, the ingredient I needed could not be brought to me. I would have to go where it grew. Chapter 4. Where Ember Caps Grow. The first time I asked Valka to take me somewhere, she refused before I finished the sentence. No. You don't know where. You want to find fresh ember caps. Two adventurers had returned from a northern contract with serious cold injuries. The guild wanted to know whether I could turn ember caps into reliable protection before another party suffered the same fate. Ingredient appraisal can tell me what changes after harvesting, but I need a living specimen. I can bring you one. You can bring me another cold mushroom. Valka's tail moved once. You know the ravine, I said. I know what must happen after harvesting. We both have a job. Valka stared at me for a long moment. We leave at dawn. The road north climbed through colder country. Valka taught me how to move over loose stone, listen beyond the path, and avoid touching unfamiliar glowing plants. At midday, I unpacked roasted meat tucked into soft bread with sharp greens and enough pepper to warm the tongue. It was ordinary food, chosen for pleasure rather than a buff. Valka took one bite. You added more pepper. You liked it in the emberhorn stew. You remembered. I wrapped the remaining food before she could hear what that did to my heartbeat. The geothermal ravines split the frozen ground with veins of steam. Ember caps glowed like banked coals beside the warmest cracks. Ingredient appraisal identified rapid mana loss after harvesting and dangerous overheating if an intact cap was sealed. It still offered no method. My first cut cap cooled immediately. The second stayed whole and blew the lid from its container, melting the frost around my boots. You may laugh, I said. I was not going to. Her ears twitched. You were thinking about laughing. Thinking is still legal in Varnhold. I stared at her. The smallest hint of fang appeared. Valka had made a joke. On my third attempt, I trimmed the mana-dense base, split the cap, and warmed the pieces immediately. The heat remained, but orange light leaked from the cut edges. Better, I said, but not stable. Valka drew her greatsword. Behind me, an ash-spine drake climbed over the ravine edge, heat shimmering between the black spines along its back. It lunged toward the work table. Valka met it with steel, but the creature kept twisting toward my leaking third batch. I grabbed the container. Leena, stay back. It wants the strongest heat signature. That is not a reason to carry it. I ran to a narrow side channel and tipped the failed batch onto heated stone. Heat mana flared orange, drawing the drake after it. Valka followed and struck a fractured shelf of rock. Stone crashed behind the creature, sealing the passage before it could turn. She returned covered in dust and looking furious. You ran toward the drake. I ran away from it with purpose. That distinction is smaller than you think. She still checked my hands and arms for injuries. On the fourth attempt, I used a low, even flame. The cap crackled softly as its earthy scent deepened, and its orange glow settled beneath the surface. I repeated the method, recorded the steps, and confirmed that trained gatherers could preserve ember caps without me. We camped beyond the ravine. Valka sat close enough that our shoulders nearly touched while I warmed the remaining food. She had protected my work without taking it over. I had trusted her to hold the drake, and she had trusted me to recognize a solution. Perhaps that was why I told her more about the photographs she had never seen. My parents are gone, I said. I still have relatives and childhood friends, but years of restaurant hours turned them into people I meant to call. Amber was the one waiting when I came home. After she died, the flat became completely silent. I still missed familiar streets and kitchens, but I had spent so long proving I was useful that I no longer knew who would miss me if I stopped. Valka watched the fire. The Crown hires me when a contract is too dangerous for anyone else, she said. Sometimes I think they see a greatsword with a heartbeat. I would notice the difference. Her tail curled closer, though it did not touch me. Back at Amber and Oak, I combined preserved ember caps with emberhorn. The mushroom's earthy warmth softened the meat's peppery heat, and the broth smelled of slow-roasted richness and wood smoke. I called Feastcraft deliberately. Hearthguard, severe cold protection, duration, up to 48 hours. Valka checked her status after the first bowl. Steady warmth, no fever. Later, she remained in her usual chair while I cleaned the counter. You may touch one, she said. One what? Her expression suggested she knew exactly how unconvincing I was. One ear. I raised my hand only after she nodded. The silver-grey fur was softer than I had imagined. Beneath my fingertips, a quick pulse fluttered through the warm skin at the base of her ear. I smiled. Your heart disagrees. Do not become unbearable. I'm considering it. A knock interrupted us. Nessa stood outside with notice that Merrick had cancelled the second hero summoning. Varnhold had apparently found the hero it needed. The circle was still recharging, but its next use would now be mine when the 4 months ended. I should have felt relieved. Instead, I looked at Valka, and going home no longer felt like a simple answer. Chapter 5. The Crown's Generous Offer. By the 3rd month, Minister Merrick returned with an offer generous enough to become a threat. He arrived during lunch when Amber and Oak smelled of bread, peppered broth, and the buttercakes Bram requested every 3rd day while insisting he had no schedule. Conversation faded as Merrick entered. His rounded chimpanzee ears and powerful build made him unmistakably Beastkin, but there was nothing wild about him. Every movement was controlled. Every document beneath his arm had been arranged with perfect edges. Miss Han, your work has exceeded the court's expectations. Considering where those expectations began, that was not difficult. Nessa coughed into her cup. Valka did not bother hiding the movement of her ears. Merrick offered salary, protection, staff, superior equipment, and rooms near the palace. In exchange, I would close Amber and Oak and enter exclusive royal service producing Feastcraft rations. Varnhold cannot leave a strategic resource dependent upon one private establishment, he said. You mean dependent upon me? You would retain responsibility for the cooking, but not control over what I make, who receives it, or whether I leave. National defense requires structure. It sounded like every head chef who had praised my ability before taking credit for it. No. Merrick opened a second document. His office could inspect magical consumables and direct Crown-contracted suppliers to fulfill existing defense quotas. He had also classified Amber and Oak as an unlicensed producer of military rations and ordered me to report to the palace kitchens the following morning. Valka rose from her usual chair. This is an administrative matter, Merrick said. Then administer it carefully. If you take Leena or use guild suppliers against her, I will refuse every future Crown contract. You speak for the guild. I speak for myself. Others have made their own decisions. Tavi set down her spoon. I will not maintain a royal kitchen built from stolen work. Bram covered the cake on his plate with one enormous hand. No royal forge orders. Other voices followed from the tables. Hunters, gatherers, and adventurers who had carried chairs, repaired windows, tested meals, and filled the café with noise made their positions known one by one. The kingdom cannot base its safety upon personal affection, Merrick said. Valka stepped closer, her tail rigid. I touched her wrist. Let me. She stepped back. The trust in that movement steadied me more than protection would have. I returned from upstairs with Merrick's signed discharge. You made me a civilian. That was before Feastcraft's strategic value was understood. My value changed. My legal status did not. For the first time, Merrick paused. Nessa came to stand beside me and examined both documents. She placed the supplier notices beside my discharge. Defense quotas were lawful. Ordering suppliers to withhold even their remaining stock from Amber and Oak was not. You cannot seize a civilian business or compel its owner into permanent service without the king's order, she said. I have requested that order. Merrick replied. Then I request a formal review by King Aldrich, I said. I offered a predetermined number of emergency feastcraft meals at fair compensation. The agreement would remain non-exclusive, and I would control production and safety. You would bargain with the Crown. I am offering cooperation. You are demanding ownership. Merrick gathered his documents. The King will review your petition. Existing defense quotas and strategic inspections remain in force. It was not victory, but I was still standing behind my own counter. After he left, Bram pushed his protected cake toward me. You should eat this one. I made it. You still need to eat. Tavi pulled a chair closer. Nessa sorted the supplier notices into evidence. Valka remained beside me, her shoulder touching mine. The café slowly began breathing again. It did not last. A warning bell sounded from the guild before sunset. A scout had reported an impossibly large monster migration in the north, far earlier than expected. The estimates were too large for the guild to fight without catastrophic losses. Merrick had not gone far. He entered the guild and read the reports. The Frosttide. This is an invasion. I studied the marked routes. The creatures kept bending away from fortifications toward food stores and concentrations of mana. An army would not move like that. This looked like something else. Chapter 6. The Frosttide. Over the following weeks, scouts tracked the Frosttide south. The monster brought back from the Frosttide was so thin I could see the shape of its ribs beneath its hide. No adventurer had killed it. It had collapsed outside a grain store. Merrick called it an invader. Ingredient appraisal called it starving. Severe malnutrition. Mana reserves depleted. Instinctive response to concentrated food and magical energy. Its teeth were worn, its stomach empty, and blackened roots tangled around its claws. Appraisal found magical blight in samples from the northern feeding grounds. The creatures fought over scraps, ignored defensive positions, and turned toward food or mana. They aren't invading, I said. They're following the only food they can still sense. Starving monsters will kill just as effectively, Merrick replied. Yes, but hunger can be redirected. Beyond the western ridge lay an uninhabited valley with water and vegetation untouched by the blight. Its steep sides could guide the migration away from farms and give the monsters room to feed and disperse. I mapped a route toward it and designed a non-edible lure from monster marrow, rendered fat, guild offcuts, glow root, and cracked low-grade cores. Valka studied the route. Someone must carry it ahead of them. I know. I will lead that team. I also knew that. Preparing everything took the next day and most of the night. Nessa organized ingredients, carts, and teams. Tavi reinforced the work tables and kept the crowded kitchen safe. Adventurers carried unwanted monster remains to Amber and Oak. Bram controlled the mana-vented cauldron while the lure rolled and spat inside. When the monster core stove cracked under the strain, he repaired it without letting the fire die. The equipment built for my little café was keeping the city's defense plan alive. I prepared Hearthguard for essential field teams. Ember caps released their earthy woodsmoke fragrance into the peppery emberhorn stew, but each activated batch left my hands shaking. When I reached for the ladle again, Tavi removed it. You are swaying. I sway sometimes. Sit. Bram placed ordinary broth before me, and Valka moved my orders out of reach. Apparently, friendship involved coordinating mutiny. Before dawn, the field teams gathered outside Amber and Oak. Valka had eaten iron endurance shortly before the starved specimen arrived, when everyone still expected a conventional battle. Now she held a bowl of Hearthguard. This will replace it, she said. Iron endurance cannot protect you from the cold. You can only keep one. Valka drank and checked her status. Hearthguard replaced the old buff for the next 48 hours. She lifted her greatsword and turned toward the waiting lure carts. Wait. Her usual chair stood empty behind her. It was only wood, repaired by Tavi and polished by months of use, but the café felt wrong without Valka sitting there. Amber and Oak feels different when that chair is empty. Then I will return to it. Come back to me. The words escaped before I could make them safer. Valka stepped close enough that her forehead almost touched mine. I always return to you. Then she left with the lure team. My place was not beside her. I traveled to a guarded ridge overlooking the western route, where I could direct the staged releases. The Frosttide darkened the northern ground. There were too many creatures to count. Large monsters shoved through smaller ones, all of them thin, frantic, and driven forward by the same desperate need. Valka's team opened the first barrel. The scent crossed the plain, and the front of the migration turned west. Then the wind shifted. The southern edge broke toward a livestock field. I signaled an early second release, flooding the air with a stronger trail. Most turned back. Hearthguard-protected adventurers contained the rest. The main migration followed Valka toward the valley. One cart overturned near the final pass. Valka cut its harness free, dragged the last sealed barrel onto her shoulder, and carried it through the snow while the Frosttide followed behind her. Then dust, steam, and moving bodies swallowed her from sight. I kept giving signals, trusting Valka to perform her role as she had trusted me to perform mine. The final lure drew most of the Frosttide into the healthy valley. Guild teams secured the settled side pass while the monsters spread toward water and untouched feeding grounds. Only the creatures that resisted diversion had to be fought. But Valka had not returned. Minutes passed before a silver-grey figure emerged through the mist. Her clothes were torn and her steps heavy, but she carried her greatsword without a limp. I ran. Valka lowered her sword as I reached her. I caught her face between my hands, then paused with barely a breath between us. Her amber eyes met mine. She closed the distance. The kiss was warm, tired, and certain. Her hands settled around my waist as relief broke through everything I had held back. I returned, she whispered. You took too long. I was carrying a barrel. I laughed and kissed her again. A royal messenger reached the ridge with 2 notices. Aldrich would hear my case, and the fully charged circle was ready to return me to Earth. Saving Varnhold had finally made me free to leave it. Chapter 7. The Home I Chose. King Aldrich admitted I was Varnhold's hero in the same chamber where his court had declared me a mistake. My discharge order lay beside Amber and Oak's records, supplier notices, guild testimony, and the Frosttide reports. Merrick stood across from me, controlled as ever, though his perfect stack of documents no longer looked quite so powerful. Aldrich read my original discharge twice. Minister Merrick formally released you from royal service and recognized you as a civilian, he said. He did. And despite that, he later ordered you into permanent royal service. Merrick inclined his head. Feastcraft had become strategically essential. I acted to protect Varnhold. You were entitled to inspect magical consumables and requisition limited emergency supplies, Aldrich said. You were not entitled to treat a civilian as property. Aldrich turned to me. Your proposed agreement offers the Crown a predetermined number of emergency Feastcraft meals at fair compensation. It is non-exclusive, and you retain control over production and safety. Yes. You would still assist Varnhold after this treatment. I live here. Protecting the kingdom and belonging to the Crown are not the same thing. The king's lion ears tilted forward. No, he said, they are not. Aldrich accepted my terms. Amber and Oak would remain private. Guild suppliers could sell to me after fulfilling lawful emergency quotas, and no royal office could interfere with the café without documented cause and review. Merrick received a formal censure. Any future interference with a summoned civilian would require royal review. He retained his office, which appeared to displease both of us for different reasons. Then Aldrich rose. The court summoned a warrior because we believed strength could solve every danger. The Frosttide proved otherwise. Varnhold already possessed fighters. What we lacked was someone capable of seeing what they could not. His gaze settled on me. The ritual did not fail. We failed to understand its answer. Months earlier, those words would have felt like victory. Now they felt like closure. The summoning circle waited in the adjoining chamber, glowing with the same gold light that had brought me to Elarun. King Aldrich stopped beside it. If you enter, the circle will return you to the world from which you were taken. The decision is yours. No order prevented me from leaving. The café was protected whether I stayed or not. Valka stood near the chamber doors. Her face was calm, but her tail had gone completely still. I will not ask you to stay, she said. I know. If you choose Earth, I will honor that choice. That hurt more than pleading would have. I looked into the golden light. Earth was not empty. It held familiar streets, the profession I had fought to master, distant relatives, and childhood friends I might still call. It also held my parents and Amber's photograph in a silent flat. Going back would not have been surrender. I could rebuild my career, repair neglected relationships, and make a different life there. But it was not the life I wanted most. I thought of Nessa turning confusion into lists, Tavi stealing dangerous tools from my hands, Bram pretending every adorable gift was a practical prototype, adventurers carrying mismatched chairs through my door because they wanted my café to survive. I thought of work that belonged to me and people who would search if I failed to appear in the morning. Then I looked at Valka. She was part of my choice, but not all of it. I stepped away from the circle. I'm staying, Aldrich signaled to the mage. The golden light faded. Valka's breath caught, but she remained where she was until I crossed the chamber to her. I chose the life I built here, I said. My work, my friends, my home. Her amber eyes searched mine. And me? I held out my hand. For a moment, Valka only stared at it. Then her tail, rigid since we entered the chamber, loosened and curled gently around my wrist. You never asked me to stay, I said. No. Even when you wanted to. Her fingers closed around mine. Especially then. I crossed the remaining distance between us. Valka touched my cheek as if she needed to be certain I was real. I leaned into her palm, and the last tension left her shoulders. This kiss held none of the fear of the frosttide. It was slow and unhurried, with no approaching monsters, waiting portal, or kingdom left to save. When we separated, Valka did not release my hand. I chose my home, I whispered. She rested her forehead against mine. Then come home with me. That evening, Amber and Oak was louder than it had ever been. Nessa organized a celebration nobody had authorized. Tavi complained that dancing threatened the floorboards she had repaired. Bram brought a new flower-edged tart tin and insisted the shape was structurally efficient. Every chair was occupied. By the time the last customer left, the café smelled of warm bread, extinguished candles, and the final sweet crumbs of Bram's favorite cakes. I turned the sign to closed. The repaired shelves, polished counter, manna-vented cauldron, animal-shaped mold, and mismatched furniture surrounded me. None of it had been made by one pair of hands. Valka sat in her usual chair beside the kitchen. I stopped in front of her and glanced at her ears. May I? She lowered her head in permission. I ran my fingers gently through the silver-grey fur. Valka's eyes closed, and her tail curled around my waist, drawing me closer. Still thinking about it? She asked. I touched my forehead to hers. No, undoing it. For the first time in years, I was exactly where someone expected me to be.
Thank you for listening. Like, subscribe, or become a member to support Keiko Novel, then choose your next world.